my response to Coffeezilla's scam allegations. Right.
Coffeezilla. I watched your 3-part series called Investigating Logan Paul's Biggest Scam, and like many on this platform, you have successfully used my name for views and money.
Okay, so he's just gonna tell him that it's just for views and money. Okay, like it's gonna be like such a boring reaction. Okay.
Your work used to be impartial, your addiction to clicks has clouded your judgment, and you've made very real errors with very real repercussions.
So does this mean that he's okay?
Coffee, you took a shot at my reputation. So in this video today, I'm going to be...
Which is completely destroyed. I mean, like, the biggest meme is that people still trusted you enough to invest in anything, but okay.
Defending myself with facts, something that you have gotten in the habit of twisting as you continue to morph from an investigator to a gossip channel. You see, Coffeezilla tried to work with law enforcement in the past, but his work was described as not anchored to truth and often speculative.
Maybe? Like, where is this information coming from? You just make it up?
He is a lopsided journalist with an agenda, and he's nothing more than the Keemstar of crypto and finance. But as opposed to just telling you, I'm going to show...
I don't know. I feel like Coffeezilla does a lot more investigating to try to get his shit together. Than anybody else, or not anybody else, but just in general.
Show you some of the core discrepancies that I caught in Coffeezilla's investigation. Coffee, you interviewed the developer who stole the game code, fled to Switzerland, and held it hostage for $1 million. Well, his name is Zach Kelling. Surely, as the internet detective that you proclaim to be, you would know that he spent time in prison for multiple felonies, one for aggravated robbery.
Then why did you hire him?
Armed robbery at a liquor store, and the other for, surprise, obstructing the legal process.
Why did you hire him? Right? This is the person we're talking about hiring?
Who stole, telling you, I'm going to show you some of the core discrepancies that I caught in Coffeezilla's investigation. Coffee, you interviewed the developer who stole the game code, fled to Switzerland, and held it hostage for $1 million. Well, his name is Zach Kelling. Surely, as the internet detective that you proclaim to be, you would know that he spent time in prison for multiple felonies, one for aggravated robbery, armed robbery at a liquor store, and the other for, surprise, obstructing the legal process.
So why'd you hire him?
I can see why you kept him anonymous.
Who will be calling Z here.
I guess
well, he probably only said he'd come forward and talk if he could remain anonymous, but okay.
among many things, it doesn't surprise me that he lied about having 30 engineers and a $50,000 a week burn rate.
On my end, I have 30 engineers. I'm earning $50,000 a week.
Which, side note, is how this delusionist landed on the $1 million code ransom, but it turns out he only had 3 engineers. Wouldn't someone with journalistic integrity...
What is this?
$1 million code ransom, but it turns out he only...
What is this?
Had 3 engineers.
Why does that prove you only had 3? I'm a little confused, because you only have a picture of 3 people. I'm confused. Okay.
Wouldn't someone with journalistic integrity know their credible source had not only an agenda, but a fondness for orange jumpsuits? Or did you just hear what you wanted to hear and moved on? Because even if you're lying to yourself, Steven, you still have to believe it. And I know what you're thinking. What type of idiot would work with an unsavory individual like Zach Kelling?
Yes.
I guess that's what I get for trusting the team that I relied on to vet and manage Eddie's hiring process, who has turned out to be a professional con man that I have since learned fooled billionaires, the Mormon Church, the owner of the New York Yankees, and now me. And
so that's two. How are there so many bad actors positioned around you? I mean, like, listen, I care so very little about this drama going on, because like it's all dumb. It's fucking Logan Paul being a dumb fuck again. But I mean, realistically speaking, how do you? Oh yeah, how is it that's somehow everyone else's fault but your own? Like, again? Was that fair to say? Again? I mean, okay.
surely you knew Emilio, the gentleman who supposedly let his child invest in a cryptocurrency, was allegedly responsible for 2 rug pulls before you interviewed him.
Oh, so why are you working with that guy again? Why are there so many bad actors surrounded by you?
So either you missed that, or you knew it
Or
and
you
failed to
surrounded
let the public know. Why? Because it was a clear sign that he was also untrustworthy. You seemed
What about like the other 10 people that invested and didn't get any of their shit together?
pretty excited when the guy told you that he couldn't hatch the eggs.
Wait, you can't even hatch?
No, I'm telling you, it's just a picture.
You're kidding. You can't hatch?
You're kidding. You can't hatch?
You can't hatch?
Yeah, 1 second of research would prove that to be false, as you can definitely hatch eggs and even breed your animals.
Click on that. Oh, we got a duck.
And as you pointed out in your fine print, cross-hatching was available on ETH at one point, but you perpetuated the opposite as truth with your chest out.
Basically, nothing worked.
And by the way,
Why don't you just, I feel like, wait, hold on.
research would prove that to be false, as you can definitely hatch eggs and even breed
What are these TikToks?
your animals.
Click on that.
Hatching your breed on BSC previously functional, but currently disabled on ETA. Oh, so it seems like it was functional, but it's not anymore. That's what it says on the screen. So how long was it functional for? Did they? Because I'm assuming that these guys just didn't have the time to do it since you, I don't know, stopped it so quickly. How long were you able to do that for? I don't understand.
Research would prove that to be false, as you can
Why does this have 10 or 20 likes? So
definitely
weird.
hatch
Where's
eggs
this
and
from?
even breed your animals.
Click on that. Oh, we got a duck.
And as you pointed out in your fine print, cross-hatching was available on ETH at one point, but you perpetuated the
Crypto mods tell me cross edging worked at one point, but it was so buggy it was shut down. Okay, so they couldn't really do these things because they were so buggy they were shut down. So they weren't actually fully functional. They existed. It's like, yeah, you can go eat that hamburger. It's not cooked, but you can go eat it. And it's like, well, maybe I shouldn't. Okay.
Opposite as truth with your chest out.
Basically, nothing worked.
And by the way, Guy, almost all NFTs are just pictures.
Oh, it's just a picture.
And surely a real internet detective would not break criminal and civil laws in trying to get information, right? So why have you allowed the illegal recording of Jeff's phone call without his permission? And then more like an internet criminal, post it online.
And it was interesting. It was like, this is wild.
Now, although you didn't verify
All right, whatever.
any backgrounds, substantiate any evidence, took multiple
I mean, that's not. I don't personally care that much about that. I don't even know if that's true or not because Logan Paul isn't exactly the most faithful actor here. But I mean, him doing something illegal doesn't mean that the information was not credible. But also, I thought that guy went on record at some point. Didn't he say he didn't want to go on record at first and then he wanted to go on record after? Maybe I'm wrong about that, but
criminals' words as truth and broke laws, you still publish the defamation. However, unlike you, the blockchain doesn't lie. So let's highlight some things that you did point out. Crypto King Jake stole $6 million. True or not, we had already removed him from the team when we realized he was a bad actor and his motives were purely financial. Conman
so where's the product?
and Eddie, lead developer, stole $1.7 million. True or not, when we learned he was a bad actor as well, he was immediately removed from the team.
So 2 people so far that you put on your very small team
While
that you removed.
Myself and Jeff sold nothing and made nothing as verified through investigation and the blockchain.
Jeff, Logan's manager, to my knowledge, never sold. Neither did Logan Paul.
I repeat, Jeff and I made no money and will never make any money on Crypto Zoo. In fact, we only lost money trying to pick up the pieces. As has been the case with dozens of crypto and NFT projects, the space is unfortunately ripe for bad actors to infiltrate projects that start with even the best intentions. Jake the Snake
But then, like, how come this is constantly happening to you? Didn't he do that fucking dumb dink doink bullshit?
is no longer affiliated with Crypto Zoo, and we hope the money he reappropriated was worth ruining his reputation. Conman Eddie is being investigated by a higher authority that I cannot speak on. As you can imagine, I was not cleared from legal to discuss much of this, including the legal process being undertaken and the criminal investigations going on during the fallout.
Okay, fair enough, I guess, for that.
But I do appreciate you calling out that rats under my nose stole the game code, millions of dollars, and left Jeff and I abandoned with no team and knives in our back. But even after 12 months of work, you've still managed to overlook one crucial piece of information. See, even though I've said it's coming so many times, you've assumed that Crypto Zoo isn't being made. Who are you to decide when the development timeline ends?
Well, I mean, I think the issue is that there are people who lost like hundreds of thousands of dollars because you didn't pull the trigger yet, which I get. But that's one of the things that I had said is I don't know if this was a scam necessarily from Logan Paul, because I did say that originally. Or if this was just like a bunch of like fuck ups in the chain. But it still bears like the question like, wow, how did you surround yourself with so many bad actors? It's crazy. Like, how did this happen? You know what I mean? Like, what did you do? Like, how did this... Like, what the fuck? I don't know. You know, people who, if you vetted more correctly with the resources you have, which should have been easier, you would have found were not exactly that reputable.
I got everything stolen from me in our community. Stop promoting publicly as soon.
I mean, isn't Coffeezilla the one who exposed that? It's interesting that we're like, let's remember like that one guy, Enrique or whatever the fuck that asshole's name was. The E guy. Nobody else knew he was non-credible until Coffeezilla did some basic investigation work. So it's like, you're shitting on Coffeezilla for all these inconsistencies, but that's a pretty big inconsistency that you guys got scammed by that guy.
As soon as I knew the extent of the internal issues, took all of the heat on social, and you still published a defamatory hit piece, fully knowing I was innocent, just so you could enrich yourself in your $10 million studio. Sharp, but deeply unethical, dangerously misleading, and illegal. I suggest you use the money you got from pumping your Patreon to hire a good lawyer. You're gonna need it. And maybe we could have talked about this if you had reached out to me, personally, not my manager Jeff, who is not me, Steven, but the first time you did was on Christmas Eve after you released your series so you could rely on false statements and unreliable people used recklessly.
Interesting.
The subject line was third request for comment. Yeah, not quite. This will be my third time reaching out to you and your team. The first 2 times were through your manager Jeff. The first 2 times were through your manager Jeff. Okay, so the last time on Christmas Eve, after the fact, was to me. You have a funny way of twisting things. And I also noticed you left out that part on Twitter. Why hide that? Trust me, Crypto Zoo is coming. I will make damn sure of it. And honestly, it sucks that after years of personal reform, going through trials and tribulations and busting my ass to evolve into a person that I can say I'm actually proud of, you led the charge to drive and monetize a narrative telling millions of people that I'm a fraud or I tried to scam my audience. That is patently false. This video is mainly for my fans and anyone who's on the fence that I hope I can help understand a situation that is tremendously complex but has been oversimplified for both views and clicks. And lastly, Coffeezilla. I now know your motives with this.
I like how he got somebody to put weird memes of Coffeezilla in there.
Clout and money, good for you, but also you're slimy as So I'm not going to come on any of your podcasts. If you want to come on Impulsive and talk about this, that's fine. You've denied my invitation multiple times. You're still invited. It can be a one-on-one. If not, we're going to handle this ourselves while we continue to build CryptoZoo, and I'll see
You
you
gonna box him or something?
in court.
Okay. Coming 2023 or 24. What a timeline. I mean, a speculative man would say maybe that this is putting a heavy timeline so that it might inevitably fail. He'll just go, well, you'll forget. Like, yeah, maybe 2024, 2 years basically, the beginning of 23. So 2 years? I mean, I don't know. Plenty of time for him to just kind of fade out of existence with his project. Anyway, interesting. I mean, we'll see what Coffeezilla's response is. Maybe this is something that Logan Paul actually tried to do, and it just fell through because somehow he keeps hiring bad actors. I don't really know. It makes sense that he reached out to the manager, though, considering it's his manager, but whatever. I guess we'll find out.
I want Papa Gut to pee on my face, but just as a friend. There's nothing weird about that. I want him to pee on my face.